Hello YouTube, Zulu67 here, and I'm back with you again. This time, I'll be talking about the support for Windows 7, which has already ended on January 14th, earlier this month. And people that are still using this operating system need to start thinking about whether or not their computer is worth upgrading to Windows 10, because you need security patches in order to keep your computer relevant and secure online, especially if you're using credit cards to shop online, or if you do any online banking. You need to secure your computer with all of your programs and data so nobody can hack your computer and get into your system and get all your information. You really don't want that to happen to you, so you need to find a way to upgrade to Windows 10. Now, first of all, I'd say the first thing to know is what hardware your computer is currently running. Because if you have a very old computer that's running Windows Vista or XP, more than likely your computer is not going to be fast enough to run Windows 10, because it'll be running processors like the old Athlon Pentium D or Pentium 4 processors. Some people still have their old Celerons. Those processors are not really recommended for running Windows 10. On the other hand, if you have something like a second generation Core i3, Core i5, or Core i7, if you have a third generation, fourth generation, those core processors are much more powerful to handle the system, because Windows 10 right now has a lot of background processes. Let me show you here, like what I have here on my task manager. On Windows 7, these processes are usually like 65 or so extra processes running in the background for Windows 7. And if you go into your performance tab here and you look and see how many processes they are for Windows 7, they're usually like sometimes 65, 72 processes. But Windows 10 has a lot more going on with the operating system, and you really need enough memory and a good processor to handle all of these things running in the background. Especially if you're using Cortana to talk to the computer and tell it what to do, your processor needs to be able to handle the system very well. So that's the hardware side of things. Just to show you what I mean, I have a Pentium G4560 with 8 gigs of RAM, and this is more than ideal for Windows 10. It's a dual core system, but it handles Windows 10 very well. I don't have any problems with this computer because it's more up to date. This is a 7th generation processor, so this is more up to date than say like a 5th generation or 6th, whoever generation that came before this one. This can handle 10 just fine as is. There's not a whole lot on this computer either, so I really have no issues with Windows 10 right now. I usually get a lot of updates with Windows 10, and that usually comes down from the Windows Update service right here. So this is how Windows Updates looks now, and you can check for updates yourself to make sure that your computer is up to date. I'm gonna do that right now to see. And I've heard about a lot of people having a lot of problems with Windows 10, and what they tend to do is turn off features like Windows Update and Windows Defender, but that's not ideal. You need those programs running in order to, you see, this has an update for the antivirus right now. They tend to turn off these features because they think they're annoying them, but if you're using the computer and you have like any documents open, it's just best to keep your documents saved while you're working on them, so that if your computer needs to update, you can just close the program, let the computer reboot, and then start all over again. The computer can't turn itself off without your permission. So that's Windows Update, and here is the antivirus. So it has all of these different features now. It has virus and threat protection, account protection, firewall and network protection, app and browser control, device security. All these things it does in background for you. It scans regularly on a schedule so that you don't have to do it. See, as I say, it says here, no current threats right now. Last scan on the 17th. That was a quick scan. It will usually scan for you in the background, so you don't have to do it. If it detects something, you will see a notification down here in the bottom right hand corner of the screen where your notifications come up on for Windows 10, right in this pane here, and you can deal with them from this section. Now, in terms of keeping your computer free of junk, For Windows 7, I used to use this program here called CCleaner. And CCleaner is a free program that I used to use to clear up temporary files, registry errors. You could also use it for clearing browsing history, that kind of thing. Because if you didn't do this, your computer would build up of junk on a regular basis. But now, for Windows 10, we don't need this anymore. We can get rid of it, programs like CCleaner. Because let me show you now what we have. Something called Storage Saints. And Storage Saints is a program just like your cell phone. It shows you what's taking up the most space on your computer. So you could scan your system with this program and it will show you in a list like this in order. Like for me right now, it says most taking in most space is apps and features. So if I click in here and I scroll down, it will show me exactly what's on the system, and I can come into this list and remove whatever programs I don't want anymore. It can also free up other files too, like downloads and documents. If you have a bunch of files that you edit, sometimes you may forget where you put them, and you may want to go back in there and see where they are stored. So this is very, very handy, and it does it in a chronological order where you can follow. You can free up space this way very, very quickly. So in terms of performance overall, Windows 10 has been very good for me in terms of performance. I really haven't had any problems on it. I use the computer to play games and research different things on Google. There really hasn't been any red flags at all with the system that I can detect. So I'm not really sure what people are complaining about. And another thing what Windows 10 a lot of people are talking about is that they say that Windows 10 tracks people online and send information back to the Microsoft servers. I mean, that may or may not be true, but as long as you're connected online, that happens all the time. So I'm not sure what they're talking about where that's concerned. Now, the other thing you may need to know is which version of Windows 10 you may end up using. Because there are two main distributions right now for Windows 10. Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro. 32-bit and 64-bit respectively. So for instance, if you have Windows 7 Starter or Windows 7 Home Basic, Windows 7 Home Premium, when you do your upgrade to Windows 10, you'll get Windows 10 Home. These are the packages that represent Windows 10 Home. But if you have Windows 7 Professional, Windows 7 Enterprise, or the Ultimate version, then you'll end up with Windows 10 Pro. So this was one of the cons with Windows 7. When people were trying to buy Windows 7, they had too many versions out that people were getting confused with. Primarily, if you were going to use Windows 10 at home, you would buy Windows 10 Home Premium, this one. You wouldn't buy Starter or Home Basic because it was like a cut down version of 7 Home Premium. Now, if you're in a business environment, you would either be using Ultimate, Enterprise, or Professional. And these operating systems will support more than 16 gigabytes of RAM. So if you have Windows 7 Home Premium, it will only support 16 gigs. But if you have more than 16 gigs of RAM, then you will have to upgrade it to Windows 7 Professional or Ultimate. I think Enterprise is for like larger businesses. So a lot of people probably wouldn't have this one. They will have Ultimate instead. So those are the versions for the upgrade for Windows 10. And right now I think I'm running Windows 10 Home. Yeah, I have Windows 10 Home 64-bit. I use this at home. I don't really do anything crazy with the operating system. So the Windows 10 Home version is just fine for me. And that's about it. Please leave a like and comment, and I will get back to you later. This is Zulu67 signing off.